Alright guys, TetraCrypt here again today, and I'm back in the UK. I came back yesterday from Anaheim, but I was in a horrible state, like my voice just wouldn't work basically, and yesterday's video would have been awful, so I thought, you know what, let's just not make a video just for the sake of it, and just crash out in bed instead, and make a video today, which hopefully will be a little bit better. So yes, today I want to talk about Rostermania and all the stuff that goes along with it. The roster change period closes tomorrow on the Thursday, which of course is very spicy. Hopefully we'll have a lot of great things to talk about. Yeah, the time in the USA was great. California's a great place. The weather there is so boring though. It's just like sunny and, well, sunny in the afternoon and like warm. So yesterday I was greeted back here by a nice thunderstorm. So you can't go wrong. I think you guys in the West Coast need to spice up your weather a little bit. So anyway, let's get into some stuff. Firstly, I wanted to mention that Rattlesnake lead mod, I don't know if he's lead moderator, whatever, I call him lead moderator, in my Discord, is trying to set up like a 2v2 tournament. And it's going to be next weekend, 29th, 30th of June. So currently there's been some interest, but not really enough to make an entire tournament. So if you guys are interested, we're not really going to bother too much about regions. There's like 11 players that have currently signed up on PS4, 8 players on Xbox. So hopefully we can run 2 tournaments and we'll just see how it goes. We thought, you know, we'll give it a go, see if it works. So if you guys are interested in playing, then join the Discord at the link in the description box below, also in the pinned comment, and share your interest in the 2v2 S&D channel that you can see here on the left. And hopefully we can get something going. If not, I can't guarantee anything is going to happen. But, you know, if you guys are interested, then maybe we can make it work. So anyway, with that out of the way, let's get into some juice, ladies and gents. Firstly, we talked about the Heretic situation when I talked about the 100 Thieves winning the event. And yes, it seems like Vortex has followed Arnau Vidal, owner of Heretics, but also Lucky. But it seems most likely it's going to be Yakko, who's going to be the replacement for Sukri that we've talked about. Should be announced within 2 days. This was talked about 2 days ago. So by the time this video goes live, it may well have been announced or is very soon to be announced. Now, it seems like Method Sig will be moved to the main AR. We've talked in the past how, at least in my opinion, Heretics are a better team with Methods is on the sub, but maybe they feel like that's only the case when Sukri is the one that has to use an SMG if they want to put Methods on the AR. So maybe that's what they prefer to do, and they're going to get Yakko, who is, I'm pretty sure, an aggressive SMG player, going to be coming in as their main SMG, or not their main SMG, but, you know, an SMG. So it's going to be an interesting turn of events, but we'll have to see. Heretics might have a 60% chance as a franchise spot, which is kind of spicy as well. So let's move onwards here. Looney says, this is a couple of days ago as well, appreciate you filling in from us last week at the Pro League in Anaheim. You took a risk and I thank you for that. The 2 wins you helped us get at the league were huge. Hope you learned something from it. Best of luck to you at Nolson COD. So of course, confirming what we thought a lot of anyway, that Nolson's going to be removed from Splice. They're going to get some sort of replacement. Maybe more changes will be imminent as well, yet to be determined. We'll have a look through some of the possibilities towards the latter half of this video. Hook, of course, has been linked to them as well. And yes, very interesting. So, of course, this is Citadel Intel, excellent Twitter account for keeping up with all of this stuff. Before I talk about it in more detail, effectively, these were the updates from the 17th of June. So just to look up this in advance, some of these things have changed, but yeah, a lot of this stuff is still accurate and has become true over the last couple of days. So firstly, Hook wants off Envy. What I heard on Sunday night was that Splice were like very, very close to confirming his buyout already. But you know, Hook's been on Envy for years now. He's been on them since the Halo days, World War II, now Black Ops 4. They've had some limited success over the last year or so. His buyout apparently is enormous. Like it could be up to anywhere up to like $500,000. And, you know, Envy, I'm pretty sure, would like match whatever offer he's going to receive anywhere else. But I'm sure from Hook's perspective, he's like, you know, can I even rely on this team to be any good anymore? Like, I mean, they made a lot of changes so far this year. It hasn't worked out apart from a top 4 at London, which was just, you know, they fell off a cliff at Anaheim going 0-12 in map count, which is just tragic. So understandably, Hook wants off Envy, but at the same time, if Envy really have that much control of his buyout, why would they get rid of him now when they've kept him for all these years? And, you know, with Champson's finals on the radar, surely now is not really the time you want to be getting rid of Hook. So it just depends. Now, it doesn't look like it's confirmed yet, but of course, there's only a couple of days to go. This is a very short roster change period. Getting everything sorted is, I'm sure, very stressful for these guys. But anyway, that was the news a couple of days ago. Nothing really has changed as far as I'm recording this video as of now. And as of Sunday, Aches and Silly seem to be safe. Can't be sure about this. From what I heard, I think Aches would be staying on the team. And yeah, as it says, as of Sunday. From Sunday, I thought that Aches would be on the team. Now, you know, I'm not sure. Assault, very interested in him. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes there. Also, maybe Luminosity, but, you know, that's kind of doubtful. And yeah, Brack or Gunless, possible players of interest to. Gunless is going to be the title of this video, as we talked about, and I will get onto the Gunless stuff in a second, but firstly, there hasn't been too much word on Gunless, so let's move on with that. Now, a lot of this stuff is, I think, still the same as of today, but I'm sure a lot of things have changed back and forth behind the scenes anyway. Now, Brack leaving units, of course, that was on the radar, you know, Envy being an option, we've heard that for a while. Apparently, Luminosity is also a big one for Brack, and, you know, Skies, as of the last, as we'll go on to in a second, seems to now be linked to Luminosity as well, which was a link that I heard about on Sunday as well. And this Atura to leaving Elevate to coach UYU apparently is also a legitimate thing. Rated with this shock situation is kind of too interesting to really comment on. Haven't heard too much about that otherwise. Now, okay, Classic did announce himself as a free agent here, a restricted free agent of Luminosity, so, you know, they're guaranteed to make a change. On the, like, when I was in the Pro Lounge backstage and stuff on this weekend, like, Classic was not chilling with the other pros, let's put it that way. So, this is going to be intriguing. Now, look, Skies, as we can see here, took Elevate out of his bio, is what this change was, and then it was confirmed, or not necessarily confirmed, but, you know, Intel announced that, you know, sources say that he has been picked up by Luminosity. Of course, as I say, not yet confirmed. $10,000 buyout. Pretty insignificant, really, for Luminosity's pocket change. And it'll be interesting to see how this team will form. Because, of course, they want to keep formal. And I would be surprised if they switch out Slacked and John. I think, on the whole, they're kind of a good SMG duo. And, well, it's difficult to say, like, who do you get instead of Slacked and John right now? What SMGs are you going to target that you can get? And, well, it's somewhat difficult to say. I'd be interested in your thoughts on that down in the comment section below. So they're going to get rid of Classic, which of course makes a lot of sense. And, you know, Gunless isn't going to be on that team, at least playing on that team any longer, because the team just doesn't like him at all. So, Skies moving to the main AR makes sense, because of course Ricky's going to go back to full-time coach, because why would you keep him playing? He's the coach after all, even though he did clutch that really nice 1v2 against UYU, which we talked about over the weekend. But to me it seems that Skies may well go on to the main ICR role on this team, and then you'll have Formal and another one on your Maddoxes, which could be Brack. So just keep that in mind. Those are my thoughts at the current time, but things could have changed from what I heard Sunday night at the Hilton Bar. So moving onwards here, we have, this was the Rostermania Daily Update on the 2nd. Now apparently LG Skies is 100% happening. Now again, Hook wants 100% off Envy, but it's all about whether, you know, Envy can satisfy his demands, because I'm sure, like, they're going to offer him a big time money, because that's exactly what happens. You know, if he wants to go elsewhere, why would they get rid of him now? Like, obviously they've had a horrible couple of last events, but Hook's the most talented player on that team, and he's really been the only one the entire year performing well. If you get rid of him now, what the hell are you going to do with the rest of your roster? And what chance do you really have of winning a championship? Difficult to say. So I'm sure they're going to try and make him happy, but if he does want to go elsewhere, then, you know, it's difficult to say right now. So, yeah, like, everyone's saying Yaka, but no evidence. Now, Gunless, we'll go on to this in a second. Now, Midnight apparently might have made inquiries with other organizations, which is, you know, interesting to see what will happen with their team. Blast might be on the chopping block. You know, Blast and Decimate have always been this kind of duo. Like, I saw them hanging around a lot on Sunday and, you know, backstage and stuff as well. So, look, I don't know what will happen there, but of course, Decimate not been looking so hot on Envy as of late. Blast has been pretty decent on Midnight. A lot of things are behind the scenes going on. I'm sure it's a very interesting time. So in a second here, we will look onto the Gunless situation. Now, E-United, Gen G, nothing heard. Now, this is interesting, of course, because Gen G may not have been looking to make a change. If Gunless is on the table, Gunless has been linked, of course, to Gen G potentially with the Nagafen situation. Also been linked to Envy, also been maybe linked to E-United. We'll go on to that in just a second here. But of course, Gen G just came second at Anaheim. So do they really want to make a change? Difficult to say. They maybe are getting into kind of championship caliber form. Now, yes, EG is something else to look at right here. This came out a few hours ago, maybe about 12 hours ago from now. We have, this is the lobby of the Evil Geniuses squad. Raven, of course, the coach, Apathy, JCap, Exotic, and Attach, joined by Accuracy. Now, from what I've heard, I think this is very likely that Phantoms was either dropped off this team. I would say dropped. I don't think the team he's going to be going to is better than Evil Geniuses, or at least better in terms of caliber. So, well, we'll just have to see. An interesting change hasn't yet been confirmed, but that's something to keep on your radar. And we also have the following from Shotzi. I don't follow him, let's do that. This is a player, former world champion, maybe even reigning world champion. Okay, former world champion, whatever. In Halo, he's just turned 18. He was a world champion on Splice. Like, just a ridiculous kid. And we've been seeing him play in the, like, with Illy and those guys, Call of Duty this year, and has had some really filthy clips. Now, he's turning 18 just after the I think he's turning 18 like the start of next month or something, but he can team for Miami and Champs. He is old enough for them, so he will be playing under like a, you know, an amateur roster, but I wouldn't be surprised if this guy makes it onto a team that comes top 16 at Miami and therefore makes it into the World Championship. So keep an eye out for this player, especially with next year on the horizon. So these are the what intel, what Crone puts out in his Discord. So a lot of these are saying the same things that we've already looked at, but if you guys want to look at them in a little bit more detail, because of course, like he says here, Hook to Splice isn't happening, but then the Hook situation isn't over just yet. A lot going on. Now, of course, there's not many hours to go left in this Rostermania period. It's incredibly spicy, and maybe a lot of changes that would happen if we had a week are not going to happen because we don't have enough time. And of course, that's very interesting, the fact that the biggest roster change period of the year, really, given that Champs of Miami around the corner, is going to be like very, very short. So keep that on the back of your mind. So, let's talk about Gunless here, because yes, this picture was tweeted, him and Silly, maybe Envy is on the cards. What I want to talk about with Gunless really is that his buyout from Luminosity is huge. LG have no real reason to sell him unless it's for big money. Think about it. Next year, we don't know whether LG are going to get a franchise spot, maybe not, which means that, look, they can sell Gunless for ridiculous money next year when the start of franchising happens. Of course, he's Gunless, man. He's worth a lot of money. Therefore, if they want to sell him now, they'd have to also be offered a very large amount of money. Now, there's been a few teams that have been linked. Envy is one of them that could afford him, no doubt about that. You know, Splice was also linked a while ago, but maybe they're thinking about, like, Hook instead of that. Like, these teams definitely have the money. Now, E United was another one I was thinking about, because I saw him hanging around with Arstees, Pristini, you know, those guys. Of course, he's teamed with them in the past last weekend. There was something going around that maybe Clayster might be off this team and they might bring Gunless back for Miami and Champs, which would be very interesting in terms of trying to build a championship caliber roster. Maybe that is the way to go. Simpa, Beezy, Arstees, Pristini, Gunless would be, you know, filthy. And I don't think Clayster has been really getting on with the rest of his team, or maybe the other way around, for quite a while. But whether E United have the money to buy him out his spot, to buy him out of his LG contract is, in my opinion, unlikely. So I don't think that change will happen. Gen G is another team that definitely do have the money to buy him out, but whether they'll go for it now, coming off the second place finish, it's tough to say. So a lot of people's money right now is on Gunless just not playing the rest of the year and staying on LG, because how many teams really are going to be forking out the, you know, it could be $500,000 that LG are asking for Gunless. And that's a lot of cash, especially with Envy maybe trying to figure out a situation with Hook and with Gen G off that finish. I don't see too many other teams going to be, you know, have the money, let's put it that way, to get Gunless out of his contract. Doesn't seem like he'll be playing on LG. It would be a very big shame if he was to sit out the rest of the year on the bench, but in terms of the other teams considering a change for Gunless, let's have a look through the rosters right here. Let's make sure this is the correct size. That should be fine. So look, 100 Thieves, obviously, they're not going to change. Optic, FaZe, they're not going to change. E6 are, you know, possibly changing, but they're not going to be able to afford Gunless, are they? So there's not too many teams that can afford Gunless. Splice is potentially one of them, Envy is potentially one of them, and Gen G is potentially one of them. Out of those three teams, I don't see any other teams getting Gunless, and I don't think it's likely that he goes to Gen G given their second place finish. Possible they'll switch him out for Nagafen, but of course, look, we've only got a day or two you know, remaining here and off a second place finish, it's kind of hard to justify that. And yes, E United, I'm not sure they're going to have the money, even though it's a change that they would consider. Envy, it is possible. It is certainly possible. But if they are keeping Aches and Silly, as is rumoured, what I heard on Sunday night is that 7 teams, something like that, had only 2 players left on their roster, which probably includes Envy being Aches and Silly, because Pharaoh, we know, is off the team. Classic is off Luminosity, so I'm sure maybe LG was one of those as well, but it's tough to say what Slackton John exactly is going on there right now. But look, there's not too many teams that even have the resources to pick up Gunless. I don't know where he'll go. Leave your thoughts on this down in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you're new as always, and check out the link in the description to Deserto's documentary on Parasite. And I wrote that, researched it, scripted it, and voice-overed it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that if you guys have seen it already. If not, it'll be linked down below. So thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you next time.